Good morning. Good morning. Really excited about today. We should be our longest practice yet, and told the team last night this is where we'll get a great chance to evaluate just who's here to survive through training camp and who's really wanting to thrive and become king of the mountain. So we'll see who's out there to compete. It'll be long, it'll be hard, and with that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
What's the best case scenario for Jalen Johnson and when you think he might be able to be back out?
I think there's a scenario where he'll be ready for week one, and that's really the target date. I know he's working hard and diligently to get there for that, and with those types of injuries that he's got, you just never know. You never know. So it's still early in that process, but I know he's attacking that rehab really well.
You mentioned the offense that you would reassess the offensive line tomorrow on the off day and maybe have kind of a working plan going forward. The way you described the plan today makes it sound like that's kind of roster-wide, like you're looking to get some clarity after today.
Yeah, we go back to day one of the spring to when we left for summer break to day one of training camp. And I think the message has been really consistent that camp is about competition. It's about earning your spot on the 53. It's about the guys that make the 53, which your role is going to be this year, at least to start the season. That always changes as the season goes on. And so that's just another step in the process right there. We should have 8 practices in, 3 of which have been in pads, which is obviously the biggest indicator for offensive line play, how well they play in their pads. And so hopefully we will have a lot more clarity on who's starting to separate themselves, and that's why, once again, today is such a big day for us.
Do you have a sense of looking for in that competition, like how outside of just how is somebody at the left tackle spot going to stand out for you?
To me, it's consistency. It's who's making the least number of mental errors. Who I think I said in the springtime, tackles to me have to be able to pass protect one-on-one on a regular basis and win those one-on-one matchups. So guys that are out there that we're not having to be conscious of with the play call to give them help all the time, that would be ideal. It's certainly not the case everywhere I've been over the years. You've had to help them out with the play calls, but those guys that can block a defensive end one-on-one, they'll be really at a premium.
You've got one player in Ozzie who hasn't done this at an NFL level before. How would you assess the job that he's done adjusting to the speed of the game and how he's been at that left tackle?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of a program like Boston College. They've been known for a number of years to produce offensive linemen that are pro ready. They run a pro system with Bill O'Brien and Will Long's the offensive coordinator. He's a good buddy of mine. He gave me great insight on Ozzie, not only as a player but also the type of person that he is. And so everything that he told me about Ozzie is really rang true. Guys like that, they usually find a way to use their physical ability to their advantage. And once I think I said it the other day, what he does well, what he doesn't do well, he knows what those are and maximizes that.
When you got here, you would
Go for it.
okay. When you got here, you were clear pretty quick that Caleb was going to be under center. What from his experience in the shotgun kind of translates there? And what did he have to kind of learn anew outside of the obvious, which is, the footwork and all of that?
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of stumbling blocks in terms of the under center work. It's for some guys it feels like a fish out of water, but I have not felt that from him even in the springtime. And I know over the course of summer he worked it a lot, whether it's drop back, whether it's play action, and so yeah, to answer your question, I don't even know if there's a whole lot of difference. I don't think about it a whole lot right now in terms of calling plays.
Is the exchange anything that you have concerns about?
No, it really isn't. I think we have had some balls on the ground. I think the cadence within the whole unit has been choppy at times. The get off hasn't been the way we want it. Center snapping it maybe a tick early or a little bit late. And then we've had a couple times the hot days, the ball's wet and it's gotten away from us. But we're working to be more consistent in that regard. I think when we do, whether it's under center or in the shotgun, I think we'll feel a lot better about how practices went.
And when you talked about those high back 5 throws, that has got to be you guys are nobody. It was related to the red zone period.
You're a good listener. I like it.
And what you saw from Caleb yesterday with Rome, was that the right decision? You want him to keep taking those chances on the one that got broken up in the back of the end zone?
The one that On-
31 and 24 were in coverage on.
Yeah.
Is that the right decision? I mean, does that qualify as us or nobody? Was he?
Yes, he was good, he was working through his progression right there. There were a number of things, day 2 install of red zone, that our details weren't quite there as a passing unit. And so I was pretty disappointed with the practice yesterday as a whole, just, you have to be very precise down there to have success in the passing game, in my opinion, and it wasn't where it needed to be, so, I had no problem with that throw, that decision. High back 5, absolutely right. Yep, it's us or nobody. But there's a lot of details that we needed to clean up in that entire practice.
When do you think you can get Zay Frazier on the field, and how far behind is he at this point?
Yeah, to be determined. He's working through a personal issue, so I really don't want to dive into that right now.
Ben, what did you see that put you on the idea of using Cole out wide at times?
Oh, I think he's a little bit of a unicorn. You can put him all over the place, and in line to outside the numbers, slot. I think you can move him around quite a bit. I think the beauty of having him outside the numbers is if you get him matched up on a safety or a linebacker even, then that's going to be a favor for us. That's going to be a good thing. He's going to be able to win those matchups on a consistent basis. He's such a large target that if you put it somewhere close to him, he'll find a way to come down with it.
Was something specific though that started you on that path that you maybe had seen in film or in practice, or was it just looking?
No, I think it's his skill set, and then you're always looking for those types of guys. I think a guy like Sean Payton has a special name, a joker is what he calls them in his offense, and guys that you can move around a lot and use as a chess piece. Those are fun guys to play with.
You've talked about DA's experience, obviously. I'm curious, having been a head coach before, are certain things he's able to just take off your plate, or things that you don't have to worry about as much because Dennis can kind of handle things because of that experience?
Well, shoot, I have a high level of confidence in the entire coaching staff. I told them last night that they're doing just a phenomenal job across the board. They're bringing energy to every practice. They're coaching up the little things. I think their guys are ready to play and compete every day that we go out there. And so with him in particular, I think the defense has had the upper hand on the offense for the most part of camp, and I think he's a guy that's not going to show any mercy. He's keeping his foot on the pedal and wants to keep on installing and bringing the noise. And so I appreciate that. His mentality is rubbing off on our players, certainly on the defensive side. And then even this morning, I go into his office and he gives me some tips here and there about being a head coach. And so that's invaluable.
Are you able to share any of those tips?
Well, it was a great point this morning. I came in and he said, when you're in that seat, you got to come in to work every morning and say, there's going to be 4 or 5 things that come across my desk that I wasn't anticipating. And if you think that it's going to be smooth sailing, you're going to be disappointed. But if you come in with that expectation, then you'll be just fine.
To that point, with Luther getting the late start and needing to catch up, is there anything you're seeing now that he's been on the field a little bit that suggests he is catching up or is on track to catch up?
Yeah, it's only been 2 days and some team drills, and the play speed stood out to me yesterday. I was really impressed with that. Still working on the alignment and the details, as you would expect for a young player, but the play speed jumped off the tape to us all yesterday.
Coach, as an extension a little bit to what Kevin was saying, you mentioned that you're going to be doing some things for the very first time here, obviously. One of those things is having final say, or what some coaches would call 51%. How do you work with those things when there's been a difference? For example, we talked to DA yesterday. He's a defensive guy. He had a sentiment that kind of seemed like he would like to go live a little bit more. You guys have done a little bit of that. But how do you go about the process when you think this, another guy thinks that, and you get to finally say, what's that then?
We meet as a staff every night, and we go over what we're looking to do, not just the next day, but also big picture view. And so we're all on the same page, and I like to take the thoughts. I told that staff when we came back from the summer that I need a bunch of truth tellers around me. I need guys that aren't going to tell me what I want to hear, but are going to tell me how they see it. And then at the end of the day, I'll be able to assess the information and make a decision, and we'll go with it. And that's been the course so far.
Caleb expressed yesterday kind of his personal need for positive reinforcement.
Who's that?
Caleb.
Caleb, yeah.
Personal reinforcement positive reinforcement through the grind. How do you stay cognizant of being very demanding on him, being very hard on him, but then also pushing the right buttons so that he feels a little bit of that support throughout the long stretch of camp.
Yeah, it's, I think the way he was raised was one that was pretty demanding. You know, I don't think you become the number one recruit in the nation without being pushed to a certain degree. So he's used to that, and I think he likes it. We've had those conversations. He knows what's coming, and we're getting to the point now where I don't even have to say as much. He's as hard on himself as I'm being on him, and he's disappointed when we're not spitting the plays out in the huddle the way we should, or we're not taking the proper drop, or our eyes aren't in the right place. And so he's getting to that point where it's more self-correction, and we're off and running from there. So I'm really excited about where he's at mentally, though.
You feel like you have to give him occasional pats on the back just to keep him.
There's no question about it. Yeah. He came up to my office on that player day off, and we highlight what he's done well over those first 4 days, and areas that he needs to improve for the next 4. And we'll do the same thing on Friday.
Ben, you said you were disappointed in the practice yesterday. Was that an effort issue, a execution issue?
Execution, 100%. And like I told the skill players on offense, it was more so, I took I'll fall on the sword on that one. I didn't do a good enough job installing those plays for them to come out and look the way that they looked offensively. Yep. Thank you.